Many people also reverse their type 2 diabetes with the carnivore diet within 18 days. If you look on my playlist, the testimonial playlist on my YouTube channel, you'll find interviews where I interviewed people who were type 2 diabetic and who reversed their type 2 diabetes within 18 days with the carnivore diet. You can absolutely do it. This is an introduction video to the carnivore diet. At the time of this recording, I'm 3 years and 4 months on the carnivore diet. I reversed my own non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, insulin resistance, with the carnivore diet within 2 months. I also reversed my own hypertension and lost 12 kilos excess body fat that I needed to lose within 2 months with the carnivore diet. So what is the carnivore diet? The carnivore diet is only animal-based products. We don't consume any fruit or any vegetables. So why would you consider something like the carnivore diet, and is it safe? And the answer is the carnivore diet is absolutely safe, and all the nutrition that your body needs are within the carnivore diet. There are no extra nutrients found in plants that your body needs. There are nutrients in plants that you won't find in animals, but they are not essential. All the nutrients that your body needs are found within animal products. So animal products include beef, chicken, fish, pork, sheep, eggs, bacon, any kind of animal that you can think of. And as I said, it includes eggs, it includes dairy as well. Some people have food sensitivities and struggle with inflammation, and they need to cut out dairy. Some people even need to cut out eggs. So why should you consider doing the carnivore diet? Most people that start the carnivore diet has metabolic problems. Metabolic problems means that you are either overweight or the measurement around your belly over your navel is too big. In other words, if you take the measurement and you divide it by your height, it's more than 0.5. It should be 0.5 or less. If you are metabolically sick, in other words, if the circumference around your belly is too big, you've got a 6.0 risk factor for heart disease. So metabolic syndrome includes hypertension, it includes high glucose levels, it includes high triglyceride levels, and it includes a low HDL. So HDL is your good cholesterol, and triglycerides is the cholesterol component that goes up if you eat too many carbohydrates. So with the carnivore diet, we don't consume any unsaturated seed oils. We don't cook with seed oils at all. You should absolutely get rid of canola and sunflower, which is unsaturated seed oil. They clog you up and they make you insulin resistant as well. Insulin resistance is the cause of most illnesses in the body. Insulin resistance, for instance, upregulates your salt retention on your kidneys, and now you have high blood pressure. Insulin resistance also upregulates your uric acid retention on your kidneys, and now you have gout or arthritis or high acid levels in your body. You want to get rid of excess acid levels in your body. High acid levels in your body is associated with heart disease and with dementia, and even some cancers as well. So why don't I have high uric acid levels? I eat a lot of red meat, but why don't I have gout? Because I have sufficient uric acid secretion. You see, the secretion of uric acid, if it's sufficient, will be of such a nature that you can eat as much red meat as you want. But if your body retains too much uric acid, then you can get especially gout. So red meat and meat in general does have proteins, and proteins goes to uric acid in the end. But like I said, if you have sufficient uric acid secretion, you can absolutely reverse even gout and prevent gout or arthritis. So on the kidneys, you have uric acid receptors and you have salt receptors. And if you have insulin resistance, it upregulates, and you have either hypertension or uric acid levels that are too high. So you can solve it by getting rid of your insulin resistance. So what is insulin resistance? Insulin resistance is when you have too much insulin in your body and it's not effective anymore. So too much insulin also has the possibility to make you fat. And as I said, it upregulates your uric acid retention and your salt retention. You can also suffer from other conditions like skin disorders, skin tags, for instance, as well as other skin conditions in the body like eczema and psoriasis and shingles. That is also caused by insulin resistance, but also from inflammation from plant toxins. So this is where the carnivore diet comes in at a great level, because the carnivore diet is the ultimate elimination diet. So with the carnivore diet, we eliminate all plant toxins. In plants are lectins, polyphenols, oxalates, and many other plant hormones and defense mechanisms that are not there for your benefit. It's there to protect the plant from not being destroyed from insects or animals. So these plant hormones and defense mechanisms actually causes inflammation in our gut. For instance, lectins can go through the gut lining if you suffer from gut permeability, which is caused by gluten and medicine, and go up with the vagus nerve, the stomach nerve. There are two stomach nerves, and attach itself in the brain where it causes inflammation. It can absolutely cause Parkinson's. And plant toxins is also known to cause inflammation in the brain and depression. You can find videos on my blog, carnivoreway.blogspot.com, by either clicking the photo profile, or if you look in the description of this video, you'll find my blog link, carnivoreway.blogspot.com, where I have 129 videos. Video number 6, for instance, Brett Lloyd is interviewed by Dr. Paul Saladino about how he reversed his depression within 23 days on the carnivore diet. In video number 4 on my blog, 2 of my doctors talk about infant nutrition and what you should feed your child. And they say that you should absolutely consider feeding your children more on a carnivore way of eating, for the simple reason that 30% of your cholesterol in your body is in your brain. The brain develops with cholesterol, with fats. So what are we giving to our children? What are we giving to our infants? If you look at the little bottles of baby food that you can buy, it's basically just high carbohydrate fruit and vegetables. So how should the brain develop? If you look at cereal, it's basically maize or corn. It goes back to starch, which goes back to glucose. So you are feeding your child a high glucose diet. How should the brain develop? How should the muscles develop? How should the tendons develop? You need collagen, you need carnitine, you need taurine, you need cholesterol. So, like I said, if you don't eat animal products, where should your child find those products? They did a study where they only added one egg to a group of children's diet, and the other half of the group were on a normal diet, and they did cognitive tests on them, and only that one egg, that was the only difference between the two groups, only that one egg was cause for the cognitive ability of the one group to excel far beyond the other group who did not get an egg extra in their diet. So many people have reversed their arthritis, for instance, and testified to the fact that they did so with the carnivore diet. My doctors say that type 2 diabetes is a choice. And with the carnivore diet, you can absolutely reverse type 2 diabetes. It's a choice. You can't reverse type 1 diabetes, but you can make it better. There is, at the time of this recording, one interview on my YouTube channel where I interviewed a type 1 diabetic who halved his insulin use with the carnivore diet. And soon I'm going to do another interview with another type 1 diabetic who also more than halved his insulin use with the carnivore diet. So what about cholesterol? You get basically three types of cholesterol. You get LDL cholesterol, it's the bad cholesterol. You get HDL, which is the good cholesterol. And then you get triglycerides, as I've mentioned before. Now, triglycerides go up when you eat a high carbohydrate and a unsaturated seed oil diet. And because of that, your triglycerides will go up because insulin is secreted in order for the body to remove high glucose levels in the blood. So your blood glucose can be normal because the insulin is keeping the glucose levels in check. And your doctor will tell you, you don't have high glucose levels. Your glucose is still within a safe range. But your insulin goes up. And as I said, high insulin levels can make you fat, can cause you to be insulin resistant. You become chronic hyperinsulinemic, and you can have high blood pressure and have high uric acid levels in your body. So you can experience a lot of inflammation, for instance. So with the carnivore diet, we don't consume any starch, we don't consume any fruit or any vegetables. We only consume animal products. We don't cook with unsaturated seed oils. You can cook with saturated seed oils, such as olive oil, or palm oil, or coconut oil. The trouble with olive oil is that it can be diluted with sunflower. Sunflower oil becomes a trans fat when you overheat it. And sunflower is an unsaturated fat, and it will make you insulin resistant. It causes your body to be insulin resistant. It clogs up your cells. The same with canola oil. Canola oil is a natural insect repellent. If you put it on plants, the insects won't eat it. So canola seed in itself is toxic. If you eat it, you will find that you have problems. If you eat it without extracting the toxin. If you talk about lectins in plants, for instance, lectins is found in beans, in potatoes, and in tomatoes. In some cases, the lectin concentration in some kind of beans are very, very high. Kidney beans, for instance, if you put it in water without cooking it and you would eat it, you will become very sick because of the lectins in it. So that's why we cook vegetables, and we try to cook the oxalates and the lectins and plant defense mechanisms out. So yes, there is an adaptation phase. It takes about 3 weeks to adapt to the carnivore diet. You go into ketosis. What can you expect? You can expect, if you suffer from gout, to suffer a little bit more, because what happens is you will go into ketosis, and your body will start to produce ketones, which you'll urinate out. Ketosis is the burning of fat. So that stands opposed to the burning of glucose. So if you eat a lot of carbohydrates, your body will burn glucose. But when you go into ketosis, your body starts to run on fat. It burns fat. So if you suffer from gout, you have high uric acid levels. And then the uric acid will be urinated out. But if you are in ketosis, the ketones will compete with the high uric acid levels, and you'll find yourself struggling a bit more with gout in the beginning, until you are fat adapted and until your insulin resistance go away. It takes about 3 weeks. But it's very important to realize that the thing that will kill you is type 2 diabetes. Gout will not kill you. And you must realize that gout is a signal that your body wants to give you that something is wrong. And as I said, there's a link between high uric acid levels and dementia, and high uric acid levels and heart disease. Go to video number 12 on my blog, where my doctors talk about that. So as always, discuss this information with your doctor. Just know that other people reversed their type 2 diabetes within a couple of days. I posted a video the other day where a person reversed his blood sugar levels from 15 to 6.5 within 10 days. So if other people can do it, you can absolutely do it as well. Of course, it's not the end of the journey then, because that person may still need to lose weight, may still need to get the metabolic syndrome in order, the measurement around the belly in order, and so forth. But it's a start. It's a very, very good start for the body to start to heal. The carnivore diet is part of the proper human diet spectrum. It's video number 85 on my blog. As I said before, there are no nutrients in plants that your body absolutely needs. There are no essential nutrients in plants that you cannot find in animal products. But there are nutrients in plants that you won't find in animals, but they are not essential. But there are at least 5 nutrients that you can only find in animal products that you can't find in plants, that your body absolutely needs. So it's vitamin B12, cholesterol, carnitine, taurine, and collagen. Taurine and carnitine are amino acids. Taurine is used for the heart and for your nervous system and for the brain. And carnitine is used for energy levels. If you don't consume animal products, your body will make cholesterol from unsaturated seed oils if you are consuming it. But it's a bad idea because it's not a good quality cholesterol. And your body needs a lot of vitamin C then. Speaking of vitamin C, there's a lot of vitamin C in animal products. Especially in organ meats, there's a lot of vitamin C, especially in liver. But not only in liver. In the heart muscles are a lot of vitamin C, but also in normal beef, in normal chicken, there's vitamin C in those products. And as carnivores, you don't need to eat a lot of or consume a lot of vitamin C for the simple reason that because we have high levels of uric acid, the body uses the uric acid as an antioxidant in the place of vitamin C. And the other place where we don't need a lot of vitamin C is in the production of cholesterol and in the production of collagen. Because we consume a lot of those natural products, our body don't need a lot of vitamin C to process seed oils into those products. So as I always say, consult your doctor and discuss it with him. But get this information so that you can make an informed decision about your health. And I also always say the biggest gift you can give your family and your loved ones is your health. And the ones that are suffering are the ones that remain behind and the ones that see how you suffer. Remember, type 2 diabetes is lingering. You can be pre-diabetic. Many people tell me they are not diabetic, but they are pre-diabetic. So they are close to the edge. Pre-diabetes start at 5.6 to 5.9 on the glucose scale. Diabetes start at 6.5. Although some say 6.5 is still safe, but it's on the edge. But you need to get it much lower than that. But as I said, because insulin keeps on getting your glucose levels in check, then your doctor will still say you're fine, but you're not fine. You're pre-diabetic. You get high levels of insulin. Insulin makes you fat. Insulin resistance causes you to have hypertension. Insulin resistance causes you to have high uric acid levels. So what I say is make an informed decision. Look at the videos. There are, at the time of this recording, 60 plus videos on the frequently asked question playlist. So if you see this on Facebook or on Instagram, on my YouTube channel is a frequently asked question playlist. My name is Cobus Kriel, spelled with a C, and on my playlist, I've got a frequently asked question playlist that's got 60 videos there, basically explaining what I've explained now, just in a shorter version. Any question that you can possibly think of, like for instance, do you need to take supplements? And the answer is no, you don't need to take supplements, because as I said, all the nutrition you need are within animal products. So consult your doctor, and if he tells you, yes, you can do the carnivore diet, then do the carnivore diet. But together with your doctor, if you are on medication, your medications will need to be reduced because you will start to feel better. And if your medication is too strong, you can feel not so good because your medication will be too strong. So if other people could do this diet, you can do too, but it's your choice. I'm not saying you have to do the diet. What I say is the carnivore diet is an option, and we are reversing type 2 diabetes, and we are reversing insulin resistance, and we are reversing arthritis, and many other complaints, inflammation, irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, depression, etc. with the carnivore diet. So check out the videos. My blog link is carnivoreway.blogspot.com. As I said, I've got 129 videos there, most of which the doctors made. And for instance, video number 86, 87, and 88 is about eggs, how good eggs are. It's a multivitamin. Video number 81 is about coronary artery calcification. Video number 69 to 71 is about the kidneys. Video number 60 to 64 on my blog is about insulin resistance. So there's a lot of videos of various topics. Just scroll through my blog. On the blog is as well a carnivore diet recipe book. There's a quick start guide in English, which is basically an ebook that I've written. The Afrikaans version is much shorter, that Skalk Maton wrote for us, and that link is on my blog as well. You can also follow the South African Carnivore Facebook group, which Skalk Maton started, a friend of mine, and I'm also involved with that Facebook group. So as I said, the links to all the PDFs are on my blog, as well as the videos that you can watch. And follow me on TikTok. Follow me on TikTok and ask questions there about the diet if you don't get the answer. But work through the frequently asked question playlist and check out the testimonial playlist on YouTube, where people testify to the fact that they reverse their type 2 diabetes and half the insulin on type 1 diabetes with the carnivore diet. So if they can do it, you can do it too. Just to answer your question, is it always easy to do the carnivore diet? No, it's not always a walk in the park, but it's worth it to do it. Your cravings go away. You change your relationship with food. And Many people have a wrong relationship with food. They see food as a reward. They see food as something to lift them up. You have to change your relationship with food and see it as an energy source. Now, with the carnivore diet, we have 5 basic rules. We first say, eat when you are hungry. Eat until you're not another bite full. With other words, eat enough. Don't put sweet tastes in your mouth. With other words, don't cook with sugary sauces and don't drink cold drinks and fruit juices. And then cook with animal fats or with saturated seed oils. With other words, olive oil or palm oil or coconut oil, but the pure kind, not the diluted kind. And be mindful of the oils that you don't overheat them anyway. And point number 5 is eat fatty enough. If you don't eat fatty enough, you can feel that you don't have enough energy. But you don't have to eat fatty. Some people can't tolerate fat, but you'll find that you, as you progress with your diet, that you can add more fat. But it's your choice. So let's talk about the importance of cholesterol, the importance of fats. 30% of your cholesterol in your body is within your brain. Your cell membranes are made from cholesterol. Your hormones are made from cholesterol. Your nerves are sheathed with cholesterol. Vitamin D is formed together with the sun from cholesterol. Your immune system is enhanced with cholesterol. So if you take cholesterol away, your skin will break, your nerves will get damaged, and you will have cognitive problems. So cholesterol is very important. So let's talk about the risks of heart disease, because many people will say red meat is a risk for heart disease, and it's absolutely not true. The real risk of heart disease is type 2 diabetes. And we are reversing that with the carnivore diet. So, LDL, the so-called bad cholesterol, has a 1.6 risk factor for heart disease. High triglyceride levels has a 2.1 risk factor for heart disease. Triglyceride goes up when you eat too many carbohydrates. Smoking has a 3.9 risk factor. Hypertension has a 4.5 risk factor. Obesity has a 4.3 risk factor. Metabolic syndrome, the measurement around your belly, has a 6.0 risk factor. If that measurement around your belly divided by your height is more than 0.5, you've got a 6.0 risk factor for heart disease. Type 2 diabetes has a 10.7 risk factor for heart disease. That's according to the Women's Health Initiative study that were done, where they took a group of women for more than 10 years, 28,000 women for more than 10 years, and they determined the risks of heart disease. And as I said, the lowest risk is LDL. So what can you expect on the carnivore diet? You can expect to lower your triglycerides, and you can expect to make your HDL, your good cholesterol, higher. But you can expect to get a slightly higher LDL cholesterol. But remember, it only has a 1.6 risk factor for heart disease. The thing that will kill you is type 2 diabetes. The thing that will kill you is hypertension. You get a stroke, you get a heart attack. Type 2 diabetes causes atherosclerosis. Let me explain. Because of the high glucose levels in your blood, the arterial walls are damaged. Cholesterol then come and try to patch up the inflammation. Cholesterol is blamed for the build-up, the plague, on the arterial walls. But all that cholesterol tries to do is try to save your life. It's try to save the integrity of the arterial wall. Glucose cuts the arterial wall. Later on, the glucose is not effective anymore, and the body starts a calcification process to protect the integrity of the arterial walls. Again, the body is trying to save your life. But in the end, you get atherosclerosis and you get coronary artery calcification. So it's not the animal fats that you eat that will make your cells to clog up. It is the glucose that causes the inflammation, that causes your body to react to protect you with cholesterol. Cholesterol medication does not prolong your life. Studies have proved that cholesterol medication actually cannot really prolong your life. But what can really prolong your life is getting rid of type 2 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes, the effects of type 2 diabetes start with the brain. It destroys the brain. The glucose destroys the brain. Furthermore, people who suffer from diabetes has 2 to 4 times higher chance of dying from stroke or heart disease than somebody who does not have type 2 diabetes. If you add hypertension, that factor can quadruple. So hypertension and type 2 diabetes is the thing that can absolutely kill you. It will destroy your heart. You will suffer from heart disease. You can get a heart attack and you can get a stroke. As always, discuss this with your doctor. I'm not advising people to stop their medication, but what I say is look at the information and make an informed decision together with your doctor. The biggest medical companies in the world is the hypertension drug companies, the sugar diabetes companies, and the cholesterol medication companies. Those are the biggest earners. And as I said elsewhere in this video, LDL has a 1.6 risk factor for heart disease, but type 2 diabetes has a 10.7 risk factor for heart disease. Hypertension has a 4.5 risk factor for heart disease. These are the things that will kill you. Type 2 diabetes further causes memory loss. It causes Alzheimer's and dementia. My doctors refer to Alzheimer's as type 3 diabetes. Type 2 diabetes also destroys the kidneys. And type 2 diabetes destroys the veins, especially in the extremities. And people suffer from wounds that would not heal, and they suffer from amputations because of the complications of the poor blood circulation and the lack of oxygen supplied to the extremities. Type 2 diabetics also experience higher levels of cancer because of the high glucose levels and because of the lack of oxygen, as well as the higher rate of insulin. There is a link between certain types of cancer and hyperinsulinemia. So, with the carnivore diet, your HDL go up, it's the good cholesterol, but your triglycerides go down. So you talk about insulin sensitivity. Insulin sensitivity is where you have a high HDL and low triglycerides. That's where I am. But if you are insulin resistant, you have high triglycerides and a low HDL. So you want to reverse your insulin resistance. You want to reverse your chronic hyperinsulinemia. So how often can you eat? You can eat as often as you like. You can eat twice a day. You can eat 3 times a day. You can eat once a day. Type 1 diabetics should eat more than once a day. They should not eat once a day. There's something called OMAD, 1 meal a day. As it works for some people it does not work. So intermittent fasting, for some people it works out great. Other people struggle with it. But you don't have to do it. I currently eat twice a day. And you eat enough. You eat until you're not another bite full. Don't calorie restrict. A bomb calorie meter works like this. It's a container within another container. And then they burn things on the inside of that container. And they've got a temperature meter in water in the outer container. and then they determine what calories that product has. That's why we say a calorie restriction is nonsense, because what happens is if you put grass in the inside of that container, you'll get a high reading in the water around it. So that would mean that the product has a lot of calories. But of course, grass does not have any value to yourself for food. So a calorie of lettuce is not the same as a calorie of beef. It's not the same thing. That's why we don't calorie count on the carnivore diet. You eat until you not another bite full. You don't overeat. And as I said, you eat fatty enough, but don't calorie restrict. Exercise is good. When you exercise, your body don't need insulin in the muscles. It's the only time, or one of the only times, that your muscles don't need insulin to open up the cells for glucose when you exercise. So exercise is a very good way to reduce insulin resistance and improve cardio, improve blood circulation, etc. But the main thing is to stick to the carnivore diet. Look at it at a long-term basis. Don't look at it at a short-term basis, because this is not just a diet. This is a lifestyle. The carnivore diet will keep you satiated. I eat 7 o'clock in the morning and then 9 o'clock in the evening. I don't get hungry in between. Why? Because I eat animal products. I eat red meat, and I eat fatty red meat, and I eat as much as I want. You can do it very cheap. You can buy venison or game meat for 60 Rand a kilo. And you can eat eggs. You just have to look at the prices where you can find affordable meat. I've, in my area, discovered 2 places where I can buy meat at the time of this recording, which is in 2022, in July. I can buy rump steak for 80 Rand a kilo and for 94 Rand a kilo. And if you buy a hind quarter, you can actually buy as low as 63 Rand a kilo from certain people in your area, if you source them out very carefully. It is possible to find them. That's why I always say, don't just buy the first meat that you can see. That's why the carnivore diet becomes expensive then. If you buy the most expensive meat, always look for the Rand per kilo price. That is the one that you should be concerned about, not the total price. It's a Rand per kilo price. And you can eat chicken, you can eat pork, and as I said, if you find game meat, and normally game meat is found in mince, you can eat for 60 Rand per kilo. It works out to currently, now if I eat it with eggs, because you have to add fat, you can either add chicken skins or things like that nature, then you eat for 30 Rand per meal. So I can eat for 60 Rand a day if I eat twice. And I did it. I did eat a game meat for quite a while with chicken skins and with eggs. But it's a very cheap way to do it, for 30 Rand per meal in 2022. Try to eat, try to work out what your food costs you. Remember, I don't buy any snacks. So when you buy minced meat or ground beef, read the label. When you buy boerewors or any kind of sausage, read the label. You'll see that in 99% of the cases, there are added MSG, added sugar, added seed oil, added emulsifiers, flavor enhancers, and added gluten, as well as in a lot of cases, they add plant protein, with other words, pea protein or soy protein, which is absolutely a bad idea. A plant protein does not equal animal product protein. So if you look at the rand per kilo price of products like bologna and bully beef, which has vegetable protein in it, you pay basically the same as cheap, affordable meat. So you're not really saving. So don't buy those processed meat. Just read the label and you'll see there are products in there that is really not good for you. That is a part of all the preservatives that is added in most cases of preserved meat. The safest way to buy wors is to talk to your butcher and ask him to make you salt and pepper wors with no flavor enhancers, no MSGs, no seed oils, no plant protein, no gluten, no thickeners, and then you are in control of the process. When I cook, I use real butter or I use animal fat that is rendered. The type of spices that we allow is basically salt. I'm currently on 0 salt. I don't eat any salt. I do eat salt from time to time, but I'm currently on 2 weeks, no salt, 0 salt. But it's your choice. There are people on my blog, for instance, if you go and look at, I think it's video 110, where a lady have not eaten salt for 10 years on the carnivore diet. Dana Spencer, she's a 10-year carnivore, more than 10-year carnivore. I think she's 13 years now. But they interview her there. Go and look at the videos 110 to 113 on my blog. Eating a very high salt diet, with other words, eating excessive salt, can cause your body to go into insulin resistance, even if you eat a low carbohydrate diet. So salt is not just about hypertension. Eating excessive amounts of salt can cause you to go into a weight loss stall as well. The polyol pathway is triggered, and this causes the body to make fructose from glucose, and it stores it ultimately into fat. So fructose goes to uric acid, and then you have high uric acid levels. High uric acid levels trigger the very same mechanism. It's called the polyol pathway. It's a survival mechanism. This is a new study that came out. The information came out in 2022, in February of 2022. And if you salt lightly, it's absolutely fine. But in my opinion, you should not overeat on salt. So it's not only about hypertension. It's about becoming or staying insulin sensitive. There was a study, and Dr. David Perlmutter points it out in video number 12 on my blog, that they proved within 5 days of eating a very high salt diet, you can become insulin resistant. Having said that, he also say in that same video that if you eat a very low salt diet, you can actually trigger your body to make more mitochondria. It's called mitochondrianeogenesis. So it boosts the metabolism. Mitochondria is the energy source of cells. Check out video number 12 on my blog. Also check out video Q66 on my frequently asked question playlist, where I go into detail into that, as well as Q65. Q65 is about salt and uric acid, and video Q66 is about a weight loss stall. There's a recipe of 9 points how to get a weight loss stall, or how to have a weight loss stall, and then I give the recipe how to get out of a weight loss stall. Q66 on my frequently asked question playlist on YouTube. So other spices that you can from time to time use is things like garlic and black pepper. But that's basically where we stop. We try to use single ingredient spices. You must realize that there are oxalates in those spices as well. And there are carbs in those spices too. Especially the sweet tasting spices. And always read the labels. If you look at the typical braai salt that we are using in South Africa, the orange bottle, turn that bottle around and you'll see it's got hydrogenated seed oils in it. It's a bad idea. So try to stick to only salt, and from time to time you may add garlic flakes, not the powdered one, because the powdered type of spice has got gluten in it, and it's got anti-caking agents in it, and it's bad for gut permeability. And don't use those kinds of spices. Try to stick to salt only. The reason why I do a stint of 0 salt is to get my blood pressure down a bit. I've overeaten salt, and then my blood pressure started to rise again. So if you eat too much salt, you can get hypertension again, even though I reversed my hypertension with the carnivore diet. But my blood pressure is now normal, and I may eat salt again to taste in a while. But currently I'm 2 weeks on 0 salt. My blood pressure came back normal. My blood pressure is fine now, and I'm controlling it. Listen to your body. That is the point. So what can you drink on the carnivore diet? You can drink coffee and tea. I do drink coffee, but if you do drink coffee, you should drink it without sugar. And you can, of course, drink milk, but don't use any coffee creamer, and don't use any of these packets that you find, the 1 in 3 packets, because it's sugar and it's seed oil. Those coffee creamers are made of seed oil. Read the labels. Always read the labels. And you can drink water. You can use some lemon juice. I've got a video about that on my frequently asked question playlist that details what are the benefits of lemon juice, but not necessarily for carnivores. We get the benefit from the carnivore diet, but not that lemon juice is bad for you, but people that are not on the carnivore diet do get benefit from lemon juice. For instance, kidney stones are reduced, and insulin resistance are reduced with lemon juice. But with the carnivore diet, we only get the benefit of that. But you can add some lemon juice to water if you prefer that from time to time. Don't overdo it. Some people do want to consume alcohol. I always get a question about alcohol. Just realize that alcohol will absolutely influence your gout, your uric acid levels. Check out video handwritten 5 on my blog. And alcohol will absolutely influence your weight loss, if weight loss is your goal. Again, check out video handwritten 5 on my blog about weight loss as well. So what about weight loss stall? Weight loss stall happens to any person, or can happen to any person. I've got videos about that as well, how to what you can do if you have a weight loss stall, but I'm not going to elaborate on that. This video is long enough as it is. Yes, but further than that, it's advisable not to drink alcohol. Your body will utilize or metabolize the alcohol first before it metabolize any other thing, and it's a problem. Alcohol is not good for your body. But I know there are people that still consume alcohol from time to time, and they do well. But some people are held back with alcohol. And of course, don't drink any cool drinks. Don't drink any fruit juice. Check out video number 93 on fruit juice. It's a bad idea. Don't drink it. So who shouldn't do the carnivore diet? Dr. Jason Fung, who is a kidney specialist, is one of my doctors on my blog, say that you can do the carnivore diet even up to level 3 of kidney failure. So only level 4 and 5 should not do the carnivore diet. You should reduce your meat consumption. So how will you protect your kidneys? First of all, your kidneys are destroyed by type 2 diabetes and by hypertension. And if you can consider the carnivore diet, you can absolutely save your kidneys. If you still have kidney function left, enough kidney function left to do the carnivore diet, you can absolutely save your kidneys by reducing your insulin levels, by reducing your hypertension or reversing your hypertension, and reversing your type 2 diabetes. So type 2 diabetes destroys the brain, it destroys the heart, it destroys the kidneys. What happens is the glucose in the blood causes inflammation. So insulin secretes, takes the glucose out of the blood. The body takes the glucose out of the blood and put it in triglycerides around the liver, so you get a fatty liver. That's what happened to me. But because of chronically hyperinsulinemia, you get hypertension and you get high uric acid levels. Later on, the glucose inflammation in your arteries is so bad that cholesterol needs to come and patch up the inflammation. But later on, that does not work anymore. And then you get inflammation of the arteries and of calcification of the arteries. And you get coronary artery calcification. Video number 81 on my blog. Dr. Ken D. Barry say that in his practice, he see improvement and reversal of coronary artery calcification. You see that people improve their coronary artery calcification score. It's a CT scan. So you can absolutely improve your CAC score with the carnivore diet. But first get permission from your doctor to do the carnivore diet, and then do it. Know there's an adaptation phase, and there's something called keto flu as well. Keto flu is symptoms like nausea, dizziness, fatigue, leg cramping, things like that. But it's just an adaptation phase, and it's symptoms that will go away. It takes about 3 weeks to go away. Some symptoms can linger longer. There's even symptoms like diarrhea. Some people experience diarrhea as well. Headaches can be also a factor, but there is an adaptation phase. And once you are through that adaptation phase, you will be in full ketosis, and your body will know how to metabolize the meat and the fat properly. But just know that it's a bigger project than, it's not just a 1 or 2 day project. And then once you are in ketosis, it's easy. I've got videos about keto flu on my frequently asked question playlist, so you can learn more about that, and also on my blog about keto flu. There's also a rare occurrence of somebody that cannot eat red meat. In America, it's caused by a tick bite, and it's got it causes a meat aversion, allergic reaction to red meat, but it's luckily very scarce. And I've heard about one person that has such a condition that he cannot eat red meat, but it's very scarce. But for the most part, most people can do the carnivore diet. As I said, if you have enough kidney function left, only up till level 3 is allowed to do the carnivore diet in kidney failure, stage 4 and 5. In other words, if you have 30% and less kidney function left, then you should not do the carnivore diet, and of course discuss it with your doctor. So is the carnivore diet for everyone? No, the carnivore diet is not for everyone, but know that it's the ultimate elimination diet, and it's something worth considering. There are other diets that are also good, keto and banting. Keto is 20 grams of carbohydrates per day, and banting is basically 20 grams of carbohydrates per day, with the main difference between keto and banting. Keto focus more on macros, on fats, while on banting they have a list of fruit and vegetables that you can choose from a low carbohydrate perspective, but it works out to 20 grams of carbohydrates per day. Not everybody needs to do the carnivore diet. This is not the reason why I promote the carnivore diet, but the carnivore diet does have a place. Dr. Kendi Barry talks about the carbohydrate knob, and he said that at one stage in his life he needed to turn down the carbohydrates. He said most people can get away when they are young with eating more than 100 grams of carbohydrates per day. He said, but at a certain stage he needed to turn down the carbohydrate knob to 20 grams of carbohydrates per day. But later on, he says, he needed to turn down even more, and he's doing the carnivore diet now. So the carnivore diet's not for everybody, but know that your cravings will go away. It's basically carb addiction that most people have, and it goes away within 3 weeks of doing the carnivore diet. But consider the carnivore diet. That is what I say. So check out the videos and make your own decision about whether you want to do the carnivore diet. Just know that you can absolutely do it if you want to do it. It's possible. You can reverse type 2 diabetes within 18 days. You can reverse your arthritis. You can reverse your inflammation. There's so many problems, allergies, etc., that you can absolutely reverse with the carnivore diet. So check out the videos, check out the blog, follow me on YouTube, follow me on TikTok and on Instagram and on Facebook. And this is my blog, carnivore.blogspot.com. I will point out several videos that is of interest, and here is a description of the carnivore diet, and here you can see the frequently asked question playlist. Of course, if you click on the question, then the video will play. This is the frequently asked question playlist that is on YouTube, and there are 61 videos. So any question that you can possibly think of has been asked, and if I get new questions, I will post them here as well. So this playlist is on my playlist tab on YouTube. And here you can see the PDF that I wrote that you can download, and then my TikTok link, YouTube link, here's my coaching link, and then of course here is success stories, recipe book, recipes, and here's the quick start guide in Afrikaans that Skalk wrote. There's the Facebook group link, and then you find the 129 videos that I refer to. So here's the food guidelines story, and here is Nina Teichel's, where she look at how nutritional companies, seed oil companies, sugar companies, grain companies influence the guidelines by giving money. For instance, there is one, or there are two studies that I'm thinking of now that were influenced in 1968 to 1973, and 1966 to 1973. The Minnesota coronary experiment, and the other one was the Sydney Diet Heart Study. And both of these studies were looking at unsaturated seed oils, with other words, sunflower and canola, and versus butter, versus animal fats. And the study tried to prove that animal fats were bad for you. And suddenly the studies disappeared for more than 16 years, both these studies. And when they went to look for the studies, they discovered that they were hidden. And they were disappointed with the outcome of the studies. The findings were that there was a 62% higher mortality rate on the unsaturated fats than on the animal product fats. So they were not happy with the findings. So they hid the study. The same with the food pyramid. The food pyramid was basically cooked. If you look at, you have to eat a lot of grains, you have to eat a lot of vegetables, and then only a little bit of meat, not too fatty. Nina Tashels goes into detail in video number 3. She wrote the book, The Big Fat Surprise. She also came to testify in Professor Tim Noakes' trial. In video number 23, Dr. Sean Baker interviews him. This is on my blog. And in video number 40, Professor Tim Noakes also say that you don't need to eat any carbohydrates at all. The total carbohydrate need of your body is exactly 0. This is a particular interesting video, video number 63, dermatitis, eczema, psoriasis, rosacea, skin conditions, as well as video number 27. If you look at insulin-resistant conditions of the skin, people who suffer from skin conditions should watch this particular video. Depression as well, video number 6. And then, of course, here is interesting videos regarding the vegan diet. People who were on the vegan diet and could not sustain their health. This video number 36, Rob Stewart is helping people with the carnivore diet, reversing eczema, dermatitis, psoriasis, and rosacea. So there's several people like Kelly Hogan, who's doing the carnivore diet for more than 10 years. She's a 13-year carnivore by this time. Yeah, I interviewed a friend of mine, Florian, who's got cancer, and he's doing the carnivore diet. He's got colon cancer. And this is video number 44. And there are lots of interesting videos. If you look at 52 as well, reversing type 2 diabetes. And as I've mentioned before, video number 60, Dr. Paul Mason talks about unsaturated seed oils, of course, and insulin resistance. Basically video number 60 to 64. It's very good videos to watch. Dr. Sophia Clemens, video 65, cancer treatment and the carnivore diet. She's got a clinic that she treats people with the carnivore diet who has cancer, and she's got a lot of success with survival. And then if you go further down, you can see fibromyalgia as well. There's a beginner's guide. Dr. Kendi Bariawi talks about how to start the carnivore diet. And here are the videos about the CIC score, video 81. Vitamins, video 82. And of course the egg videos 86 to 88. And video number 91 is about alcohol as well. and on the carnivore diet. And then keto flu, video number 95. There's some videos about the sun, 99 to 100, 98 to 100. And then there's interesting videos about taurine, uric acid, video 105, as I've mentioned. Video 107, very interesting video, Dr. Robert Lustig, who is an endocrinologist, and Dr. Kendi Barry talks about that. And in that video, he talks about the calorie. He made it his life's mission to abolish the word calorie. And he's got 100 peer-reviewed studies. Video 108, artificial sweetness, which you absolutely should avoid. And then here's a video about no salt. Video 109, video 110, Kelly Hogan, she also does not eat salt. Charles Washington, 12-year carnivore. Kelly Hogan, 13-year carnivore. And then here's an interesting video as well. Video 120, carbohydrate knob. Hashimoto's, hormonal problems, thyroid problems. Check out video 121. There's certain things that people miss, and Nisha Berry is the wife to Dr. Kendi Barry, and she's a medical nurse, and she had Hashimoto's and thyroid problems, and there's information there that's very beneficial, as well as video 123, hypothyroidism. Amy Berger, who is a nutritionist, talks about hypothyroidism. Professor Ben Bickman, very interesting, about insulin resistance. He has a lab and he specializes in insulin resistance. Dr. Anthony Chafee, video 125, 10-year carnivore. And if you look at how well he looks, he's been doing the carnivore diet for 10 years. He's a neurosurgeon. So here's 129 videos that you can check out on my blog, carnivoreway.blogspot.com. So this is a screen recording of my YouTube channel, and you can see the frequently asked question playlist, as well as the carnivore diet idea playlist, and the testimonial playlist as well. Frequently asked question playlist, if you look at it, how to start the carnivore diet, how to reverse type 2 diabetes, are we not omnivores, what about bully beef, what van al daardie vette, and can you get gallstones on the carnivore diet, what about fiber, do you need to eat fiber, what about calorie counting, when am I pre-diabetic, reversing insulin resistance, what about gout, what can you expect, video 12 and 20, what you can expect about the carnivore diet, and then how much carbohydrates do you need, what about cholesterol, what spices can you use, what about hypertension, how to reverse hypertension, what about sweetness, and can you use stevia, can you use natural sweetness as well, what about the food guidelines, Q29, and what about coffee creamer, what about vitamins, what about constipation, can you become constipated on the carnivore diet? And the answer is yes, you can, if you don't eat fatty enough. So it's important to eat fatty enough, and it's important not to eat a lot of cheese, because cheese can absolutely make you constipated. But you don't need fiber. It's a short answer, but go and listen to the videos. You don't need to eat any fiber at all. I'm 3 years and 4 months fiber free. What about glucose levels, higher glucose levels on the carnivore diet? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible, especially if you exercise. Your body produces glucose by gluconeogenesis. And can I have cheat days? No, you can't have cheat days. And go and listen to those videos. What kind of tests can be done? There's a video about that. But what about Curicos for gout? Yes, you can use it, but go and listen to that video. And a lot of interesting questions on the frequently asked question playlist on my YouTube channel. So look for me, Cobus Kriel, spelled with a C, on YouTube. The link to my blog will be in the description of this video if you see it on Facebook. And yeah, else also if you see this on YouTube, in the description of this video will be the link to my blog as well. So on the blog I've got 129 videos as I showed you, and on YouTube I've got the frequently asked question playlist and the testimonial playlist as I show you. On the testimonial playlist I do interviews with people who lost 100 kilos, 123 kilos, 30 kilos, etc. with the carnivore diet. Many people testify to this fact. And I interview type 1 diabetics who halved their insulin and with the carnivore diet, and type 2 diabetics who reversed their type 2 diabetes with the carnivore diet.